proud of our guys for winning. I mean, obviously extremely hard to win. Thanks, Brandon. Extremely hard to win a football game, especially on the road. You know, credit to Rice. They played really well, really hard, especially on special teams. They absolutely kicked our tail. And I think at halftime that was the difference in the game because you went in a half, and defensively, I think they only had 7 first downs. We gave up the 1 touchdown drive, but we're playing pretty good. Had the 2 turnovers, a bunch of sacks. Offensively, we were moving up and down the field, not playing bad, 24 points, but we never really put them, you know, exploded and broke it open. But obviously the block punt and the big kickoff return for half made it a game, you know. And so I think the bottom line is, you know, in order to be a really good football team, you got to win when either you're not at your best or a combination of that and the other team's playing really well. And we found a way to win. You know, our kicker struggles to kick kicks from the right hash, especially long ones. Missed one, I think, earlier in the game. And when we needed it, he made a 51, 52-yarder or whatever it is. And, you know, obviously when we needed it, Kevin got in there, a couple big third-down conversions. Gets us down there. If we don't have the holding penalty, I'd like to think maybe we would have gone in and scored, but we ended up getting the field goal, which was big because how they call the game's different in that last 2 minutes, whether it's a 2-point game or a 5-point game. And then our defense. You know, if we're gonna continue to win, we're gonna have to win games at the very end in the fourth quarter, probably all 3 of these next 3 weeks. And so it's huge to do it, and just really happy to get out of here with a win.
You said during the week that it was going to get tougher, but do you think your players, after such lopsided wins the last 2 weeks, do you think your players were surprised to get the battle they got today from Rice?
I don't think so. They came out ready to play, I felt like. I think they played hard. You know, they responded well when we got the block punt for a touchdown. We got down. We hadn't been down in a while. Offense went right down the field, made it 7-7. Defense went out, got a turnover. We made it 14-7. So we reestablished control of the game. I think we played hard. I think we respected Rice. I mean, JT Daniels is a really good football player. McCaffrey and then that running back you saw the long run. I mean, they got dudes. They're really, really well coached. Mike Bloomgren is really doing a heck of a job here. So I think we came to play. We played really bad on special teams. Let it be a close game. The second half, we fumbled. You know, we did everything you have to do to let a good football team beat you when you're on the road. And so the fact that we found a way to win, I think, is going to bode well for us.
What was the shift like for you guys when Daniels was out of the game in the second half and they had to switch up?
Yeah, it was weird because, you know, he threw a touchdown pass on the last play of the half for him. And I don't think we hit him on that play. And so, you know, we didn't go in the half preparing for anything different. We came out, it was kind of like for a minute you're trying to figure out, well, you know, you never know. Maybe he's getting IV'd and he'll be out in a minute, or like you just weren't sure, but we couldn't find him anywhere on the sidelines. And, you know, now it presents a whole different set of problems because obviously what JT does to throw the football is incredible, but you saw some of the runs that, is it Chase Jenkins made? I mean, a couple late were just incredible. So it just changes things. But I thought our defense set the tone in the second half. We got a stop. Offense went down, I believe, and scored. We got another stop. We went down, kicked the field goal. And, you know, credit to Rice. They didn't quit.
You talk about the defense and how great they played today, but protecting the ball. You take away 2 interceptions, you give 9 up. How crucial was that?
It's huge. I mean, our defense, we said it a few weeks ago. We thought turnovers would start coming in droves. We took 2 away. We had maybe 2 others we dropped. Another fumble that they had went out of bounds. You know, we played good complementary football most of the time this season from the standpoint that we haven't turned it over a lot. I know we had the critical fumble to start the fourth quarter. But, like, we haven't turned it over a lot. We started forcing them. We've played the field position game well most games, you know, and I think that's what's helped us win games. But, look, we've got to not play like that on special teams again if we want to keep winning. And that's on me. That's not on any of our coaches, or that's on all of us. You know, we're better than that. We've been playing better than that last few weeks, but very rarely do you get a punt block for a touchdown and win on the road. So we're fortunate.
Is there something specific about those special teams that you just gotta maybe a tweak, or what is it?
Yeah, no, I think we shifted. I don't remember if it was the bye week. I think it was. We shifted to a 3-man shield, and we've had some success since then. We've done really good. We tried to quick, you know, it's like a jet tempo, pop out real quick and snap it. And they had 5 dudes coming up the middle, which didn't give us time to normally, you know, either alert the kick or rugby it or whatever to solve that problem. And, that's a coaching error. It's not on the players. And so that's on me to not let that happen again. So.
You mentioned the miscues on special teams. Ryan had a fake punt that he threw early on that fell short of Tyler Levine. Was that maybe thrown short on purpose because Tyler was wearing a defender right on his back?
Well, you'll have to ask Ryan if he threw it short on purpose. Obviously we called it thinking it would be open. And really we had to look. It was a heck of a play it was either 33 or 31 for them to recognize it at the last second. And Tyler got a little held up. And, look, again, I trust our defense. We're going to be aggressive. They did do a nice job of stopping them after that, so it didn't cost us. I think they actually went backwards. But, I think if he'd have thrown it well, we'd have caught it. We'd have probably just still been short. I don't consider a fake punt a miscue, but I do think a block punt for a touchdown, 2 really good returns, especially the one before half, and us not being able to get a snap down an extra point, all is embarrassing. So, but again, we'll get better for it, and we'll be ready Friday night.
Speaking of Tyler, it seems like still when you guys need 1, 2, 3, 4 yards, he's the guy you go to, punches in that touchdown, had a couple of big runs late. Just how big is that for a guy who's not necessarily getting as many opportunities as he did towards the end of last year, but a steady guy that's always ready for you and you can count on?
I'm getting emotional. I love that kid. He's our closer. Ball's at the 3, put him in there, it's a touchdown. Late in the game, we needed some runs. He doesn't cry, he doesn't complain. He's team captain. Doesn't get a lot of carries, plays on special teams. Kid's a winner, man. So, yeah, it's huge having him down the stretch.
Isaiah Wachovia got the interception that sort of sealed it at the end. But toward the end of the first half, he came out of the game, had his jersey off. How surprised were you to even have him back in the second half?
Why are you guys trying to make me cry, man? Same thing. I mean, the 180 that kid's made, he's turned into one of our best players on defense. And you're right, he got his pretty good AC sprain, I think. Came out. Okay, I mean, even coming out of halftime, they're like, I don't know if he'll be. The next thing I know, he's on the field for the first play of the second half. C.J. Sanders on offense, Logan Parr, and Marcus Bryan. I mean, he just goes on and on. I mean, it's week 9. Guys are beat up, playing tough. But, when that ball left the QB's hand, it didn't look good for us. And not only did Isaiah get there, but then he got there and they kind of caught it together and he took it away from him. Just a huge play to seal it for us.
I mean, the defensive list kind of can go down, but Elijah Roberts just continues to just kind of wreak havoc in the opposing backfield. The strip sack he had just disrupts things. How big just is that to have a guy force the offense to have issues and change the point of attack and all of that?
He's a problem for other teams. And it's one, he's talented, but man, he plays so hard. I mean, he's just got all great defensive ends. You go back in the day, the Reggie Whites, the Charles Haleys, you can go on and on, the Lawrence Taylors, the Derek Brooks. They were talented, but they had a motor. And he's got that kind of motor. He broke the rock in there, rightfully so. I don't know if he had 2 or 3 sacks or whatever, the strips and all, but just because of how hard he plays for a new guy to come in and command the respect of his team. He with a lot of other guys have been huge impact players for us, but he's a problem for other teams, and I'm sure glad he's on ours.
You talked about the adjustments your defense had to make when Rice switched its quarterbacks. Yeah. You also had to switch your quarterback late in the game. And Kevin has played, but these were obviously the most meaningful snaps and minutes he's had all year. Did you and Coach Woods make any adjustments for him coming in late in such a close, tight game like today?
No. We had to go. It was 33-31. There wasn't any time to play it close to the vest. And I think the first play we threw it as far as we could to Moochie. And, sometimes that helps you get the nerves out. You just rip one. But obviously, Kevin can really throw it. He throws a really good deep ball. Moochie can run. It didn't happen, but we were pretty close. And the guy was playing 12 yards off, and we didn't care. We ran right at him. But then he had 2 big third down conversions. The one, I think, to Romello on 3rd and medium, and then he scrambled and hit LJ on another one. He protected the ball. We got full confidence in Kevin. He showed it last year. He's shown it this year. I think Preston's playing really well. Like I said, I think he played really well tonight before he went out. But, we feel like we have 2 guys that can go in and win. And, and we got full confidence in him. And I think it probably showed the way we called it. I mean, even the last third down and 10 or 12, we're ripping it. So.
You talked about the past couple of games, and then you have to grit this one out. The maturity of Preston Stone, he's a sophomore, and how does he go from the offense humming and then gets into this grit? What does that speak about his progression?
He's growing up. We said before the year, got a kid who's made one career start, and we've gotten somewhat spoiled around here with his transfers like Shane and Tanner, who had the experience when they showed up, and Preston, is a kid coming out of high school just now for the first time being the guy. So every experience he's gaining something, and obviously I thought he played great. The touchdown he threw to Jordan Hudson was incredible. And it's hard to explain, but we had it really a concept. He hit Keyshawn Smith to the field on earlier in the game on like 2nd and 20. Same concept. They give us a look again. Credit them. They I don't think we've seen that many looks on the back end consistently since Oklahoma, and you can tell how much better we moved the ball today with all that. And I think that's just reps and experience for him, because you can only practice so much, and then he's got to react and trust things. And they rolled their coverage to the field, probably because of what we had done earlier. And RJ and Jake and those guys are over there, and he did a great job coming backside to Jordan, who was really like his fourth option. And then, of course, Jordan carries people into the end zone. He's getting better and better each week. I thought, again, he led us in rushing. I thought he played lights out. Even the throws that we just barely missed were pretty good throws. So, and again, what he does is he protects the football. He's aggressive and protects the football, and for a young guy, that's a big deal.
Now 5-0 in the American, still in the thick of the conference race. November, it's here.
Yeah.
Where do you just about the next month? Where do you go from here, and how do you keep moving forward?
Yeah. Well, we're in the middle of the grind. We've almost, you could argue, put ourselves in contention here at the end. Right now with 3 games to go, that was our first goal. We're winning on the road in the league. We're winning close games. I've been blessed to be a part of some championship teams, some teams that won a national title. We won it with Cam Newton in 2010. We won on the road at Mississippi State by 3. We kicked the game-winning walk-off field goal win at Kentucky. I don't even know if they went to a bowl game that year. You got to win games of variety, especially on the road, a variety of different ways. And each one builds a little bit of character, a little bit of grit, like you talked about. So we put ourselves in position. We've got a short week. We're going to play on Friday night at home, thankfully, against, at least coming into the game, the top offense in our league, or us and them are kind of 1 and 2. Each week it just gets bigger and bigger, and all that matters is what our guys have somehow been able to do so far is just try to go 1-0 each week. And so, it'll be a real mental week. We'll have to be smart physically, but we'll be ready to play Friday night.
And this is the 3rd straight conference road victory, the first time that's happened since 1982. What does it mean for this program, how far it's progressing?
It means a lot. I think Brad said his first 5-0 start in a conference play since 82 as well. Look, for us to do things that haven't been done in a while, it always goes back to around 82, 84. There were some pretty good players here at that time. The running game and defense travels. And we ran for 223 yards tonight. We were able to run when we needed to, which is important. I think you look at the numbers. Again, they scored 31 points, so it's going to on the surface, but man, they had 290 yards of offense. They were 2 of 12 on 3rd down. We did a lot of things right. Again, we put our defense in some tough spots with the special teams and the fumble at midfield, and but that's what it takes to win on the road. And so, yeah, I think we're taking a lot of strides there, and I think that's why we're able to win these games on the road.
You talked about the need to figure out a way to win when you're not playing at your best, and you do the things that you said to allow a good team to hang in. Did you learn anything about your team tonight that you didn't know before this game?
Yeah, I think it was stressful, but it was good for us because in a weird way, I don't know, I never was really. It was stressful because we could have maybe created some distance sooner than we did, but he's always kind of believed in our guys. But especially the way the last 2 weeks have gone. We showed some grit, I think, at East Carolina. It was 14-10 going into the 4th quarter. Next thing you know, we win 31-10. I think same thing here today, all the way down to the very, very end. And so what I learned is, these guys, the moment won't be too big for them. The pressure at the end won't matter. Look, someone may beat us. They're going to have to beat us, though. We're not going to buckle in the moment. and really I already knew we were tough, but like physically, a lot of guys were beat up. To your question about Isaiah and others, and somehow they just keep, the only ones that didn't go back in the game were the ones that the doctors wouldn't allow to go back in the game. You know, and I think that shows a lot about just how much they care and their toughness and how much they care for each other.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You got one more? I'll go for
You've
it.
talked a lot about the championship process.
Yep.
That conversation about the championship game and all of that hasn't been spoken in a long time, or even really at all.
No,
during
you're
the
the only
season.
one.
But for that process, how big is a game like this moving forward into this final stretch?
It's huge. It's huge because I don't know what's going to happen next Friday night, and there's a couple games after that. But I bet you they all, in the fourth quarter, are pretty tight. And so it's huge now, 2 games on the road in conference play when, you know, let's go back to Oklahoma. We made it 14-11, 3-point game with 12 minutes to go. And I mean, credit them, it's Oklahoma, but we didn't win. That was the first time we were in that situation on the road, tight game. Next 2 times we've been in that situation, we found a way to win. I understand the opponents are different, but that's not the point. And so, yeah, I think it's huge. It's experience is what makes you better down the road, and it's a huge feather in our cap to be able to go on the road and do it now twice and win the game in the fourth quarter when it's close.